For anybody that doesn't want to spend any money on AI, then don't do it, right? AI is not for you. It's not. There's no reason in the world where you can say, well, you know what? I don't know if it's there yet,
Right.
and it's kind of a fad.
Right.
I'm just going to kind of test it to see what happens.
Right.
What are you talking about? It's already happened. We are using it in every facet of business.
Right.
We're using it in our government. We're using it in our military. We're using it in production lines, and it is worldwide. It's not an American thing. It is a worldwide, not even phenomenon. It's a worldwide standard of operating now.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Everybody uses it.
Welcome to the Direct Insurance Podcast, Uncensored, where real talk meets real strategy for independent agents. Get ready for insights, expert tips, and some brutally honest advice to help you level up your business. Now, here are your hosts, Jason McClellan and Filip Lundstedt.
What's your ideal avatar? Where do you want to work? And how much do you want to spend?
Right.
That's like the top 3 questions that marketers will ask you, ad managers will ask you. And you could say, I want people that are turning 65. And they'll just tell you, okay. They won't say, okay, turning 65, male or woman. Right? Republican or Democrat. Like that stuff matters if you really think about it, right? Because what if you're a staunch Democrat? Could you do business with somebody that's a staunch Republican? I mean, like on the far other side.
Right.
It might not be a good mix.
Right.
So maybe that's not an ideal client for you. It's not to say that's a good client or a bad client. It's just not the right one for you.
Right.
Right? So when you look at that, you say, okay, well, maybe I'll leave that one alone because that's not, that's not low-hanging fruit. And your ideal client is always low-hanging fruit.
Right.
That's not weak.
Right.
That's smart.
Right.
Position yourself for easy business.
Yeah, good point.
And it's not to say that those people aren't important. They don't need to be served. They just don't need to be served by you.
Right.
Somebody else out there, that's their ideal client.
Sure.
Leave them alone.
Right.
Why are you competing for business that you don't want?
Right.
Well, I want all the business. No, you don't.
Right.
You don't. That's why that ground truth statement is also very revealing.
Yeah.
Because how many times have you heard a broker say, no one can do what I can do? I have a hard time recruiting because people don't sell the way I sell. Well, how do we take what you do and we replicate it? Because if you're so good, you must have systems. I mean, if you're so good, there's no way you're changing your approach every single person you meet. You're probably doing the same approach, the same thing, the same places, the same marketing, the same doctor's office, whatever. You have a consistent plan or blueprint that you're using and you're activating on a day-to-day basis. So much so that you probably do the same thing every Tuesday, same thing every Wednesday, same thing every Friday, every second Friday, every third Thursday. We're humans. That's what we crave.
That's why most people knew what meal they had on those days, right?
100%.
Family did this on this day, Yeah.
How about this? Great example. Taco Tuesdays.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right?
100%.
It's almost easy. Like if someone was like, you want tacos? What day is it? It's Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
of
Taco
course.
Tuesday. Of course I do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not? You know what I mean? Pizza on Fridays. If you have kids, pizza on Fridays. It's like Pizza Fridays. It's like a thing, right?
Unless football's on.
Unless football's on, then it'd be Sunday.
And
right?
it's wings.
Or wings.
Hey,
Then it's
wings and pizza.
Then
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
wings. You know what I mean? So it's like we do this in life all the time. We categorize things and we put them in these buckets.
Right.
But people will say, well, no one can sell like me. I promise you. People can sell like you and maybe even better. But if you're to document your process and then you were to document like, this is the person that I sell best to, now we're getting somewhere.
Absolutely.
Because marketers love it. So even think about it from that standpoint. If you had a ground truth statement, forget about AI for a second. If you had a ground truth statement that broke down who you are, what you are, why you are, how you do it, who you do it for, and exactly the process of how you do it for that person, and the uniqueness that you bring to the table that no one else can do, even in your own mind, right? Because this isn't about other people. It's about you. It's not about saying like, hey, you're wrong. Your process is not the best. That's not what the ground truth statement's for. The ground truth statement, to be honest with you, is a bump up on your ego. It's about why you're the best at absolutely everything and why you're such a rock star, and you immortalizing that and saying like, this is now on paper.
Right.
If you handed that to Aaron, right, your ads man.
Yeah.
If you handed that to your ads manager, they would be like, this is gold. This is exactly what I need, and you're doing my job for me. Now I don't have to ask you 1,000 questions because you're literally telling me, and she'd be able to take that information and say, I know exactly where to get this person.
Yep.
I know where they live. I know where they shop. I know what kind of car they drive. All of it, just from the data that you give.
Yep.
So that by far is the most important thing to do. And most people will say, well, that sounds like a lot. It's not. You live it every day.
Right.
I just need you to document it.
Yeah, you got to carve out some time. Follow the guide that we're going to provide.
Yes.
That you put together. It's there. So pick a GPT.
Yes.
would you say ChatGPT is probably the easiest or most popular?
Yeah, Chat and Claude. I would
Claude,
tell you,
okay.
like, if you were to buy anything, budget $40 to $60 a month, right? If you're serious about this, right? For anybody that doesn't want to spend any money on AI, then don't do it, right? AI is not for you. It's not. There's no reason in the world where you can say, well, you know what? I don't know if it's there yet,
Right.
and it's kind of a fad.
Right.
I'm just going to kind of test it to see what happens.
Right.
What are you talking about? It's already happened. We are using it in every facet of business.
Right.
We're using it in our government. We're using it in our military. We're using it in production lines, and it is worldwide. It's not an American thing. It is a worldwide, not even phenomenon. It's a worldwide standard of operating now.
Yeah.
Right?
Very true.
Everybody uses it. So I would tell you, you definitely want. For me, ChatGPT, absolutely.
Okay.
Pay for it. $20 a month. Claude, $20 a month. Pay for it.
Yeah.
And why both? Aren't they the same thing? They're not. I think ChatGPT or Gemini is very good for ideation and research, right? I would say Gemini is probably better for research, especially right now, because Gemini and Google, same thing, so it's going to just naturally have a better dig, right?
Sure.
So I think, and there's some others, but I'm going to just start simple, right? Either Gemini, ChatGPT, or Claude. Pick two of those three. My personal preference would be ChatGPT and Claude.
Okay.
I start with ChatGPT. ChatGPT gives me what it has. I then take that and I put it into Claude. The reason I like Claude over ChatGPT, it's a little bit more advanced, is because in Claude, you have more subsections that you can create. You can create projects, you can have artifacts, you can do coding, you can do so much more in Claude, and then Claude in its own is like where AI is a whole subject, Claude is an entire subject. It goes very, very deep and very, very wide. There are people that literally only use Claude and pull off amazing things, build businesses, sell them, unbelievable stuff you can do with Claude. ChatGPT, very easy to use. Having Claude almost perfects what you're doing on ChatGPT to bring it to the next level.
Excellent.
So having those two products is unbelievable.
Great. No, that's perfect because that simplifies it.
Yes.
There you go.
Yep.
Options and some reasons behind it. So a few minutes ago, you mentioned Avatar.
Yep.
Let's take a minute on that. I think most agents, ones we talk to, aren't quite sure what that means.
Yeah.
They hear it.
Yeah.
It's been a movie.
Yeah. They're like that, a blue thing? I got to get a big blue
I've
thing?
heard of Avatar. Yeah, I've got. Yeah. So what is it really in respects to what we're talking about here?
Yeah. So Avatar is a marketing term for your ideal client. That's all an avatar means. Like when you're building out an avatar, you're building out the person that you want to speak to, the person that you want to sell to, the person that you want to acquire as a client, as a member, as a friend, whatever. Whatever you're trying to get out of that person, that persona, it's called an avatar. It's just the way they say it, right? All the information that I got did not come from the Medicare business. It came from social media marketers. It came from marketers. It came from e-com. It came from all these industries outside of the health insurance industry because 5 years ago, nobody in the health insurance industry believed in any of this stuff. They thought it was no way, no one's going to make this. This is no way Medicare is going to let this happen and yada, yada, yada. It was all this like very much like a witch hunt against AI. But yet there were all these other industries that were churning hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue and profit. We're talking about net profit, just straight flexing on AI. And because of that, that's where I had to get the information. So a lot of the terms I use are very much marketing terms, right? And you'll hear me say a lot of them. SOP, standard operating procedure. That is very much a marketing term. Avatar, which is the ideal client that you want to go after. That's what we call it in this business, right? Like, who's your ideal client? Your IDC. What's your ideal client? Who's your ideal client? Avatar is what the marketing term would use.
And then to go back, ground truth statement, which you'll hear quite a bit.
Yes,
That's
GTS.
the other step. And then now we've kind of tackled that avatar question. So that's perfect. The other thing I would recommend is, and this is just from a perspective of somebody who's learning and figuring this out myself and learning a lot from experts like you, but don't be afraid to try stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, sometimes you kind of have created its own lane where it works, where it doesn't work. And we don't know. So, talking to you, talking to many others who have gotten more advanced in it, they're like, oh, yeah, I just did this, and I just dropped this in it, and then I dropped this book in it, and then I asked it to do this. And I'm like, oh, I would have never thought to do that.
Yeah.
But it can do all of that. So, I mean, you can You can drop in videos. You can drop in books.
Yes.
I've heard some drop in the CMS, 2026 guide.
Yep.
So there's a broad range of things. So don't get stuck using it as a search engine or just asking it about a recipe. I mean, sure. Yeah, it works. It's cool.
It's fun, but yeah.
Right. I mean, it does what you need it to, but there's so much more it can do.
There's a lot that it can do. And like when I was saying like propellant, it's such a good analyzer of situations and how to come up with solutions to problems that are happening. Great example. You have, you live in an area and you have a hospital chain, right? And that hospital group or that hospital chain has decided to drop an insurance plan, right? And you look at it and say, okay, they're dropping this insurance plan. I know that, company A and company B and company C are in network. And company A specifically only has the PPO that they take, and company B has an HMO and an HOPOS that they take. And then company C, well, they've got a PPO that they take, right? So I know all of this right here. Okay, great. What you could do is you could get all of the data that the hospital's putting out about how they're dropping that insurance company. You could take that, put it into a GPT. You could then take all the summary of benefits for the plans that they do take, put that into a GPT. Then you could ask the GPT, hey, listen, I need to send a letter out to all of my clients with comparison charts, and I need a script for a video that I need to shoot so I can let them know about what's happening and how we've built strategies to make sure that they're ahead of the game so we can make sure they don't have any lapses in coverage. And it'll literally do it all for you. It'll create the flyer, it'll create the side-by-side comparison, it'll do everything that you need. You could literally take that flyer, that comparison, send it up to your upline and say, hey man, is this good if I send this? Upline says, yeah man, send that out. And you're way ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Because those insurance companies aren't going to do it.
Right.
And what else are you going to do? Are you going to book a 1-hour call and go over 5 different products with people?
Right.
Absolutely not. But if you did it that way, and with when you use the ground truth statement and you follow my frameworks, it's so much more. Because when you follow the frameworks properly, you're going to have everything else too that's going to say, okay, well now let's build a landing page around it. Let's create a special link, and we'll also create a form fill and a calendar link. So when people get the data, they see the video, they can click on a link, they can book an appointment with me. When they book the appointment with me, then they get a form fill where they have to fill in their information. That information then comes to me, and now I've compressed the appointment time to 15 minutes because I don't have to spend, like I said yesterday, right? I'm not going to spend 30 minutes on the phone with somebody saying, who's your primary care?
Right.
And then I get the story for 5-10 minutes of why it was and why it isn't and how I'm happy with them and I don't like the furniture and the bathrooms are dirty or whatever, right?
And I think agents categorize that as service, and it's not. I mean, it is, but it's really a waste of time.
Yes.
Your client can do it so much easier, so much more efficiently, and you can get them an answer so much quicker.
Yes.
Doing it differently.
Literally, all you're doing is copy and pasting.
Right.
And you're just dropping it in there.
Yeah.
And if you're not already doing it now, is you should have every summary of benefits for every popular plan that you're selling saved in a folder.
Yeah.
So it's literally very easy. You don't have to go back to main site and look it up and download it. It should already be downloaded on your desktop. And if you're not doing that, do that. I mean, shit, that's step one.
I mean, that's a great idea. Even taking it a step further. So, we think about ancillary products. Let's go past Medicare. You've got dental products, you've got hospital indemnity, all valuable. But there's so many out there. There's so many variances. You could then take that summary of benefits. You could take that brochure, load it in, and have it do a comparison or build a chart for you, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there you go.
And that's another thing that when we talk about, like when you start with that ground truth statement, you're literally putting out, all the people that you like to sell to, but you're also putting all the products that you like to do. When you do that, the more advanced thing that people can look forward to that is like once we have your ground truth statement built, well, then we build you a staff. And that staff has very specific roles and responsibilities.
Right.
And one of those roles and responsibilities could be the upsell.
Right.
Who handles the upsell? Well, Paul handles the upsell. So once all the data comes in and I have a new client being onboarded, then it all goes to Paul. And then Paul says, okay, in 30 days, I'm going to tell him this. 60 days, I'm going to tell him this. And 90 days, I'm going to tell him that.
I love your arguing.
Yeah, they argue.
Bots, yeah. Wait, what do you call them? Bots or
my AI agents?
Your AI agents, yeah.
They'll argue with each other because I got a compliance one, right? She's always like just jumping in and ruining everything. Right?
They do.
You're like, this sales would be great, and that's where you got to be careful in GPTs, is because ChatGPT doesn't understand Medicare compliance.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Medicare compliance. There's things you can do and things that you can't do.
Right.
And if you're just willy-nilly out there doing stuff, it's going to mess things up.
So for an agent who actually, we've had this conversation with some that came in town. They're concerned about compliance.
Yeah.
How to market. You could load that into your
thousands
GPT
and thousands of pages
and have it say, hey, here's what I want to do, but keep me in compliance.
Yeah.
There you are.
And then name it.
Yeah.
Ezra. That's mine.
There you go. Yeah.
Ezra, everything that I do, I need you to look at.
Yep.
And it's not, and you don't individualize them. You make them work as a team, because in a company, does everybody work together from an executive level?
Right.
They do, right? There's no way the chief financial officer is making decisions without checking in with operations.
Yeah, you've got your own paddle, but you're rowing the same direction.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right? And everybody is involved on some layer of moving a company forward, right?
Absolutely.
There's no one that works independently away from everybody else. Like
Can't do it.
the person that's running sales for a company is in communication with the chief financial officer, the operations officer, and probably the CEO.
Yeah.
They're probably having meetings and discussing projects that they're going to work on and how they're going to execute them. And then they're going over different rocks, or different check-ins of saying like, hey, this is where we're at. This is the next move. This is the next move. That's why you want all your AIs to talk together and converse, because then you can have one spot check the other. So you can just build in compliance with everything that you write.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
And is it hard to be compliant? As a human, sometimes yes.
Sure.
Because our emotions get the better of us, or we forget something. But if it's in the constructs or the guardrails of what you want something to be done, and you're literally taking the verbiage from the federal government and you're putting it into a GPT, it is literally reading that and reasoning that. Right. You got to double check your work, obviously.
So really, we've covered. I mean, I'm sure some companies would hate the fact that we're exposing this, but it's going to cut down on some of their traffic. But
sure.
We talked about simplicity, and we just simplified it. Get maybe ChatGPT, Claude.
Yep.
Pick one. Ground truth statement. And really, that's your starting point.
Yeah, and then start having fun with it. Use it.
Yeah.
Use it for everything. Think about anything you could possibly do. Be like, hey, I don't know anything about Instagram, right? I know nothing about Instagram, but I want to start posting more social content, but I don't know what to do. Give me some advice, right? Yep. And from that, if we build it properly, which once you come to all these courses and you kind of invest in what we're doing here, you're going to have it done, because I'm going to give you those frameworks where it's like, okay, I use specific people for frameworks. And the best thing you can do, to be honest with you, is go onto Instagram, find somebody that's getting millions and millions of views and has millions and millions of people that follow him, whoever that might be, Tony Robbins, Alex Hormozi, whatever. Anybody that you see, like, I really love this guy's content. It's amazing. I love it. This is great. He's got tons of views. He's got tons of followers. And then all you tell ChatGPT is like, hey, do you know Tony Robbins? Yeah, Tony Robbins is X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 blah. I want you to deep research Tony Robbins, and I want all my content to look like Tony Robbins. I want to use his framework. They'll be like, great, Tony does X, Y, and Z. Great. I want you to always do stuff like Tony Robbins. Add it to my ground truth statement. And the GPT will add that to memory.
Yep.
And now anytime that you're like, hey, I need to do content, use our framework, call in the executive team. Just does it. You don't have to prompt it anymore. So it cleans up the process. So up front, it seems like ground truth statement, so much work, but in the end, it's going to save you tons of time, tons of frustration, and it's going to give you really, really good content coming out. And that's a super important thing about using AI.
Yep.
That's a wrap on this episode of DIP Uncensored. Still have questions? Leave a comment or head over to iadbrokerage.com to find helpful resources and connect with an independent agent who can guide you through the process. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast wherever you get your shows.